I think in today's world, you can't be afraid of change, but you can't also become change for the sake of change. So that sort of balance of understanding when you need change, being ahead of the curve. Don't change when like the writing is on the wall that you have to change, because that's always very painful. Be a bit ahead of the curve and understanding what's coming next. Second thing is that we make mistakes. We have to be prepared to make mistakes if you want to take risks, if you want to try new things. So balancing and creating the right atmosphere to be able to actually learn from your mistakes.
How does innovation happen in Lego?
It starts with being passionate about understanding consumers, understanding who we're going after, what are their key passion points, what are they really into. So it's kind of starts at the concept stage. And then it is sitting around and playing with different ideas. And then we go through kind of a stage process. We have different teams in the organization. Some teams can work on innovation that is more within reach. Some projects take a much longer time. So we have Creative Play Lab that's particularly dedicated on these more challenging projects.
I think one of the best bits of advice I ever read was, I think it was Great by Choice in that book, where they talked about successful companies take lots of small risks, but then they work out which one works and then they double down on it, sort of thing. I think they called it like fire bullets, and then work out which bullet hit the target and then load the cannon, sort of thing. And the idea that you can constantly experiment and then get the data back and then, then make a decision what you're going to double down on, sort of thing. A bit like the scientist taking a scientific approach rather than just, we're going to bet on this without the evidence.
I think there's a combination. I think that we would all be so lucky if we could just know that exactly that everything we've bet on is going to work. I think sometimes you have to get out there. You don't have the time to test everything. You have to get out there and see whether it works or not. And sometimes you got to have the intuition and the belief that something is going to work, but then give it enough time. And that means that you have to have a pipeline of enough things that you can really
Balancing
believe in.
long and short is so important, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're absolutely right, because the things that take time you need to set in motion and then do the sort of more tactical things that are going to keep you going in the short term till that succeeds.
Some things hit immediately and some things don't, and you need to be able to say, this is never going to work, or say, no, this might work, but let's just try to go a different way. So it depends. You need to really work hard to constantly be, exciting, engaging, relevant. What I see my role to be is to create enough room in our portfolio of things that we do, from products to marketing campaigns, etc., to be able to afford some of these things that don't work, so we can take some risks, and to be able to also afford some things that will take longer.